Okay, so get ready for this one, folks. We are diving deep into, well, a recipe that combines pumpkin and meat.
Pumpkin and meat?
You heard that right. You might be thinking, wait a minute, what? But just trust me on this. This isn't like your grandma's pumpkin pie or something.
Right.
This deep dive is going to take us through, I mean, not just a recipe, but through history and culture,
Oh, wow.
and even some pretty surprising nutritional benefits. We're talking about specific pumpkin varieties, like what kind
Yeah.
is best, the ideal cuts of meat to use. And you know what? This combo, it's not just some like weird thing.
Right.
It pops up in dishes all across the globe.
Yeah, globally, it's really interesting.
I'm intrigued, I'll tell you that.
You should be.
So, help me out here a little. Why does this combo even work? What is it about pumpkin and meat that goes together?
Well, what's fascinating is that the sweetness of the pumpkin, you think it would clash with the savory meat,
Right, right.
but it doesn't. It actually complements it. It creates
Yeah.
this, like, balance, a really unique flavor profile.
Okay.
And it's really comforting, too.
Interesting.
And it's not some new food trend.
Okay.
This is something that is rooted in culinary traditions all over the world.
So it's not like just throwing some pumpkin like into a stew or something.
No. It's much more than that.
I am really curious about like those global connections you
Yeah,
mentioned.
absolutely.
So what kind of dishes are we talking about? Like give me some examples.
Well, think about Italian pumpkin ravioli
Yeah.
with like a salty prosciutto
Okay.
or, rich Middle Eastern stews, with tender lamb. And a lot of these dishes are tied to harvest festivals and family gatherings.
Ah, okay.
So, signifying abundance and togetherness.
Okay, yeah.
In Italy, pumpkin and meat dishes, they're like the stars of the table during their fall feasts.
That is so cool. I love that it adds like a whole other layer to it. You know, it's
Just
not
for-
just like about what's on your plate. It's like
Yeah.
the stories, the traditions behind it.
Exactly. The history.
It really does make you appreciate food even more, don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And speaking of seasons, it's not a coincidence that pumpkin and meat are like a really popular combo during fall and winter.
That's right.
Now that you mention it, it does feel like a really perfect autumn and winter like combo. What's the reason behind that?
Well, picture this. The leaves are turning, there's a chill in the air, and the pumpkin harvest is in full swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pumpkin, being a symbol of the harvest, it's readily available, and it's packed with nutrients.
Yeah.
Meat provides that hearty warmth that we crave during colder months.
That's true.
So you put those together,
Yeah.
and you have this, very satisfying and nourishing dish.
Okay, so we've got the cultural and the seasonal context.
Right.
But what about the actual pumpkin itself?
Yes.
Our source mentions different varieties.
Yes, there are.
So what makes them unique when it comes to cooking?
Well, not all pumpkins are created equal, especially when it comes to cooking.
Okay.
Sugar pumpkins, those are your go-to.
Okay.
Sweet, dense flesh. They're perfect for roasting, stewing, or pureeing.
Gotcha.
Then you have kabocha,
Oh, okay.
which has more of a complex, almost like a nutty sweetness.
Nutty.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And while not technically a pumpkin, butternut squash.
Okay.
Smooth texture, sweet and nutty flavor as well.
Okay.
That can be used kind of interchangeably.
Hold on, nutty sweetness. I'm picturing something like a sweet potato crossed with like hazelnuts or something.
Yeah.
What does that even taste like? Help me out here.
Well, it's a unique flavor. It really is.
Yeah.
More nuanced than your typical pumpkin.
Yeah.
Imagine like a subtle sweetness with earthy undertones and a hint of that, buttery nuttiness you mentioned.
Okay.
It's a little harder to describe than just straight sweetness.
Okay, I'm adding kabocha to my shopping list.
Yeah, do it.
I have to try this mystery flavor.
You've got to try it.
What about the meat, though?
Yes.
What are the best types to pair with these different pumpkins?
Well, you have a range of options. And the choice really depends on the pumpkin variety, the overall flavor that you're going for.
Right.
If you want something with a rich, savory depth that complements the sweetness, beef is a great choice.
Okay.
Especially cuts like chuck or brisket.
Okay.
Those are perfect for slow cooking.
Gotcha.
Then there's pork,
Okay.
mild, slightly sweet flavor.
Okay.
Blends really well with pumpkin.
Yeah.
Shoulder or belly cuts would be ideal.
So richer meat for richer pumpkin flavors.
Yeah, you can think of it that way.
What if I'm going for something a little lighter, like that butternut squash you mentioned?
If you're going for lighter, chicken's a good option.
Okay.
Especially bone-in, skin-on thighs.
Okay.
Best flavor and texture.
Gotcha.
And for those who enjoy like a more distinct gamey flavor, lamb,
Oh, yeah.
leg, or shanks,
Yeah.
pairs well with the pumpkin's earthiness.
I'm starting to see how the meat choice can really make or break this whole dish.
Absolutely. It's a key component.
Yeah. And our source also emphasizes using high-quality ingredients.
Yes, very important.
Why is that so important when it comes to pumpkin and meat specifically?
Well, think of it this way. You're building a house.
Okay.
If you use cheap, flimsy materials, the house isn't going to be strong or as beautiful, right?
Right.
Same goes for cooking.
Okay.
Fresh, high-quality ingredients, they elevate the entire dish.
Gotcha.
For pumpkin, you want to choose one that feels heavy for its size.
Okay.
Smooth, unblemished skin.
Okay.
And when it comes to meat, you want to look for cuts with good marbling.
Oh, the marbling, yeah.
Yeah, those streaks of fat running through the muscle.
Why is marbling so important?
Well, marbling is key for tenderness and flavor.
Okay.
Those little bits of fat melt during cooking, and they baste the meat from the inside out, resulting in a more succulent and flavorful final product.
So like built-in flavor enhancers.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
It really does make a difference.
Now, once we've got our star ingredients, our amazing pumpkin, and our beautiful meat,
Yes.
how do we actually cook them? Our source mentions roasting, stewing, and grilling.
Yeah, those are some of the most popular methods.
Can you walk us through each technique?
Absolutely. So roasting, that's a great way to bring out the natural sweetness of the pumpkin.
Okay.
Creates those lovely caramelized edges.
Yeah.
So preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Make sure you spread your pumpkin and meat in a single